Welcome to the Mediterranean island of Corsica, the dramatic backdrop for the third and final day of the Rallye de France. Sébastien Loeb will start today with a lead of 27.5 seconds over his rival for the Drivers' Championship, Marcus Gronholm. The Frenchman in the Citroën is expected to win here, but on day one it was Gronholm who took the early initiative. But Loeb's pace on these tarmac stages is irresistible, and from the second afternoon he began to take control, winning 5 of yesterday's 6 stages along the way. He now has just 4 stages between him and a third successive victory in Corsica, and more importantly, 10 points that will see him reduce the gap to Gronholm in the Drivers' Championship to 4 points. So there's a lot at stake, but he seems relaxed about it all.
I'm in a good rhythm. No big mistakes, no big moments, so it's okay.
The 8 points Gronholm will collect if he comes home in second today is as much as he could have expected, and he has an advantage of over 30 seconds to third place Dani Sordo. His day finished on a slightly worrying note when he developed gearbox problems on the final stage. The fault was traced to an electrical sensor, and after a few tweaks of service, his Ford Focus was declared 100% fit for today. Not so for Francois Duval in the OMV Kronos Citroën Zara. He was giving another impressive display on the tarmac, but he also developed gearbox problems on the final stages. And on the way back to service, he suffered electrical failure, which resulted in him getting a 10-minute time penalty for late arrival. The decision was taken to withdraw from the rally, a disappointing end to what could be his last outing of the season, but he had again demonstrated he can still compete at the highest level. Duval's retirement saw Jari-Matti Latvala move up to 4th, and he's just 7 seconds ahead of 5th place Petter Solberg. That will be the battle to watch today. Loeb is the leader though, with that 27.5 second advantage over Gronholm. Sordo in third is a touch over a minute off the lead. And this is where we are in the world. Corsica's about an hour and a half flying time from Paris. The rally's based in the west of the island in the city of Ajaccio. Today's 4 stages total 112 kilometres. Jan Kopecky is one of the first drivers off the line today. The Czech driver has quietly and consistently gone about his business in his privately entered Skoda Fabia. The car still evidently has some pace as Jan begins the final morning in 8th after the late withdrawal of Francois Duval last night. Nearly 2 minutes ahead of Kopecky on the leaderboard is Subaru's Chevy Ponce. After an error-ridden Rally Catalunya last week, the Spaniard has been much more consistent in Corsica. But that bit of rubber flying from his tyre means he's got a puncture here, and this could ruin all his hard work. He's got no choice but to pull over and change it. He loses 3.5 minutes and falls behind Kopecky. Bad news for one Subaru driver. His teammate Petter Solberg begins the final day just 7 seconds behind the 4th place of Jari-Matti Latvala. Top 4 finishes have been hard to come by for the Norwegian of late. Only 3 times in the first 12 rounds this year has he managed it, so a real incentive to push to the finish today. Latvala's ability to adapt his driving style to work on sealed surfaces has been truly remarkable over the last 2 events. That he's currently fighting to hold off a former world champion may have surprised even the confident young Finn himself. Championship leader Marcus Gronholm, meanwhile, would have probably taken 2nd place at the beginning of the rally. With tarmac experts Dani Sordo and Francois Duval providing further competition, the 8 points he's on course to score will be a welcome addition to his tally. Back to Gronholm's compatriot Latvala now. Has he been able to maintain that gap of 7 seconds to Solberg? He's giving it everything through these dangerous twisty roads here. The finish boards are fast approaching and it's too close to call. Oh, he's slightly slower, but only loses 0.6 of a second to his rival for fourth.
It's fourth place at the start of Sunday. Battle with Petri, 7 behind. He's took just a little bit out of you, so it's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but we have to keep the same pace, but it's not easy.
Battles further down the leaderboard then, but up front Sebastian Loeb has long since seen off his challenges. The world champion begins the final morning with a lead of nearly half a minute. His teammate Danny Sordo is third and realistically too far adrift of Marcus Gronholm now to make a late charge for second to help Loeb's championship fight.
Izquierda 7 corta, frenando mucho. 10 derecha 5 muy lenta. 5 muy lenta aquí. Va bien.
Oh, and he spun very close to the edge of the road for a moment there, and that's the first serious mistake for the Spaniard this weekend. He won't lose too much time, but it's a frustrating start to the day for Danny and co-driver Mark Marty. So Gronholm's position looking even more secure then. The Finn is monitoring Sordo's split times this morning to make sure he keeps him behind, so he'll know he's lost some momentum in this stage somewhere. Marcus is 6.4 seconds quicker than Sordo on stage 13. It would take a mistake more serious than the one his teammate just made to halt Loeb's charge now. We have seen errors creep into his performances this year though. In Norway and Sardinia, they've cost him dearly. On his home event though, he's supremely in control. It's another fastest time in here and the perfect start to the final day.
Sebastian, it's another Sunday drive. 0.4 quicker than Marcus in there.
What we try to do, we saw that in the stage that we are in the same rhythm than Marcus, so that was okay. I don't need more, so no problem. The car is feeling well. No risks.
Loeb fastest at the end of the stage, but who was quickest at the start? With this virtual spectator sequence, we can see that Gronholm in the Ford Focus was quickest away from the line. Is that down to driver reaction or the car? Either way, Loeb's red Citroën soon back on terms. And Loeb increased his lead to 27.9 seconds, while Gronholm is now nearly 40 seconds ahead of Sordo after the Spaniard's spin. Peter Solberg will be looking to overturn that 6.4 second deficit to fourth place Latvala. We'll be back in Corsica for more Day 3 action after the break. Welcome back to Corsica, where we're about to move on to the longest stage of the rally next, the 32 kilometres of Pont de Causola. It's been a frustrating start of the day for Chevy Ponce and co-driver Javier Amigo after that puncture on the opening stage. But unbelievably, it looks like he's got another one. This time it's on the front left rather than the right, and you can clearly see the rubber flailing around in the wheel arch. And it's even taken out our camera that was mounted in his wing mirror. Thankfully for the Spaniard, this time he can drive to the finish on the damaged tyre, and his 8th place is safe from that. Ponce's Subaru teammate Chris Atkinson is 2 places ahead in 6th. The Australian has appeared more comfortable in his Impreza since falling back at the end of day 1, and it's another strong time for Chris through here. While those 2 Subarus can relax to a certain extent on this final morning, their more senior teammate is right on the limit as he attempts to close on Jari-Matti Latvala's 4th place. Flat out downhill section here, very tricky stuff, but no mistakes from the Norwegian. Solberg looked very strong in here then. It's now up to Latvala to respond. The Subaru driver had been a few tenths up in the early split times, but it's the longest stage of the rally, so Latvala has plenty of time to get into his own rhythm here and attack towards the finish. It's going to be very close again. But he beats Petter by 4 tenths to extend his narrow advantage to 6.8 seconds. That fight for fourth shows little sign of abating then, but Marcus Gronholm is just concentrating on securing second place. It's been one of the Finn's finest performances of his career in Corsica, and the extra tarmac racing tuition he took before the event has clearly paid dividends. With the world champion and rally leader now though, as he continues his serene progress towards yet another tarmac win. Terrific shots here from the camera in the front bumper of Seb's Citroën C4. You get a real sense of the breathtaking speeds these drivers reach here. Also note how he cuts the corners in order to take the straightest and fastest line. Seb is 9 tenths slower than Marcus through here. Danny Sordo was fastest in that stage, but he's still the best part of 40 seconds behind Gronholm, who took back a few tenths from Loeb. No changes in the top 8 in that stage, which is followed by the last service stop of the event.
Sebastian, when do you actually relax? Is it literally as you finish that finish line?
Yeah, I don't relax before. I have some bad memories from Sardinia, so we have to continue and to be concentrated until the end.
This will be your last time here in Corsica. It's one of the classics. Would you say this was your best performance on this rally?
It is, yes, and it has been a good rally. I mean, nice weather, beautifully easy with the tire choice, which that I like that. Okay. Unfortunately, we cannot win, but anyway, good memories from here.
Another Finn who could have good memories of this rally is Jari-Matti Latvala. He might prefer the gravel and snow, but if he can hold on to that 4th position, that will equal his best ever WRC finish.
I say that if I can finish in top 8 here, you know, I would be very, very happy. But okay, it's Corsica has always been better for me than the Catalonia. But of course, it was a bit of surprise that we are this high.
And are you enjoying the battle with Petter?
Definitely, this is the best of the rally what you can really have. And but the main thing is now that I can keep him behind until the finish.
Jari-Matti Latvala has to defend that 4th place for 2 more stages. This is the first of them, the repeat of Penitenzier. And here is the man who's chasing him, Petter Solberg. The Norwegian announced that he discovered the right direction to take his impressive setup yesterday, and he's clearly found more pace today. A succession of top 5 times testify to that. Just one more push, and 4th place could be his. Jari-Matti said in service then that he's loving every minute of this battle, and the 22-year-old sets about defending his lead in a 24-kilometre stage 15. Latvala is one of the drivers being mentioned as a possible replacement in the full team following Gronholm's retirement at the end of the year, and this performance will no doubt be impressing team boss Malcolm Wilson. But he has been slower than Solberg in all the splits through this stage. He needs to be quicker than that time to retain 4th. He is, but his lead is cut to 3.9 seconds. This is going down to the wire. Danny Sordo had a frustrating start this morning with that spin on the opening stage, but he sets a stunning time here. The Spaniard is the fastest through so far.
Queda 6 largas rápidas, se cierra 5 cortas, 5 carril, cierra 5 cortas, 5 carril, 10, derecha 4 lentas, se cierra poco, 30, queda 4, 5
For Marcus Gronholm now, it's once again a case of attacking to the finish and hoping for an unlikely error from the world champion. Second place on his least favourite rally, though, is a good way to sign off on his final attempt at the Tour de Corse. He seems to have backed right off through here. He's nearly 9 seconds slower than Sordo.
70 mètres. Gauche 90.
And this is all too familiar for Loeb. The local hero will be cheered all the way home by the French fans and is almost in cruise control now.
Et ferme léger corps de rail. Et attention, droite en plus long au rocher. 50 mètres. Gauche en plus mi-long corps de mini ok rail. Et droite 90 moins léger rail.
He's slower than his teammate too, but 0.3 of a second quicker than Gronholm.
Droite 80 moins pas corde. Sur gauche ferme 80.
So Loeb maintaining his advantage while Sordo is chiseling away at the gap between him and Gronholm in second. It's looking like it's too late for him to improve his position, but not so Petter Solberg, who's now less than 4 seconds behind Latvala. Just outside the top 8 is Henning Solberg. The Stobart VK driver has never threatened to break into the point-scoring positions for drivers, but if he can get home in 9th, he will get 2 points in the Manufacturers' Championship, a useful return on his Corsican debut. Currently in the last point-scoring position for Manufacturers is Manfred Stoll in the OMV Kronos Citroën Zara. He's the sole representative of the OMV team following the retirement of Francois Duval. But that point could be in danger as this man, Mikko Hirvonen, is closing in on him. Hirvonen had been in 4th on the first morning before he removed a wheel on a roadside wall. He returned yesterday under the restart rules, and with Stoll having his own problem with fuel pressure yesterday, he's now just 30 seconds behind. Matthew Wilson was ahead of both Stoll and Hirvonen coming into this final day, but his rally came to an end on stage 15 when he lost all drive and was unable to restart the car.
Left 60, left 6 in, 15 right.
Nicola Bernardi, who's at the wheel of the Suzuki SX4 in its WRC debut, is another who had to restart after an engine failure forced him out yesterday. But he's looking like getting to the finish, putting the car through some serious competitive kilometres, which was the main aim for the team this weekend. We're off to a break now, but join us in a few minutes for the final stage as Sebastian Loeb goes for victory. Welcome back to Corsica, where Sebastian Loeb is leading the Rally de France with just one stage to go. And that stage is the 32 kilometres of Pont de Calzola. Subaru's Chris Atkinson is running in 6th. It's been another promising weekend for the Japanese team after a difficult season. Reliability is certainly improving with their 3 cars on course to finish in the top 8. But ahead, the team's #1 driver is giving it everything to pass Latvala in a last-ditch effort to claim 4th.
Lines in now with 2 right tight shot, 1 down cut, opens up long, give in, neat right 6 left minus, opens 60, keep right to the crest, neat 6 left up long, opens, right in neat, right bus extra long, tighten short, 1 plus, the late 1 left long.
Solberg makes it through the final test unscathed, but was this performance enough to threaten Jari Mati's position?
6 right, straight
And here is Latvala with just a few more corners to go. He needs to beat that time of 90 minutes 11.1 seconds to keep 4th. He's going to be a lot quicker. Yes, a great response to Petter's late charge. Latvala secures 4th and equals his best WRC result.
Yeah, it's been a real tough event for you. A career equaling best and on tarmac this time.
It's a fantastic feeling, you know. I was so afraid that how Petter will be pushing because he was so fast in the previous one, but I lost the battle in New Zealand and I felt bad, but now we got it back and I'm so glad about that.
That's one young star of the future achieving a fine result. Danny Sordo is 2 years older than Latvala at 24, but in his 2-year career in the WRC, the Spaniard has already achieved 8 podium finishes.
Ahora queda 4 lenta, 4 lenta, para derecha 6, para izquierda 5 largas rápidas, se cierra poco, para derecha 5.
He signs off in Corsica with another fastest time to secure podium number 9. Thankfully for Gronholm, though, Sordo is in 3rd and not 2nd. This extra 2 championship points the Finn will secure for keeping Citroen's number 2 behind could be vital come the end of the season. He may not have been able to beat Loeb on his home turf again, but very few ever have.
Marcus, it's 2nd place overall in Corsica. It's a real strong drive by you as well. Only 2 points lost to Sebastian.
Yeah, it's only 2 points and it's okay. I couldn't win. I had no chance today, this weekend, so it's good to be 2nd. Still leading.
The Finns satisfied with the runner-up spot then. Once this man claimed the rally lead, there was no looking back for Loeb. He admitted himself he was driving right on the limit early on, but again the Frenchman has been unstoppable on his home rally. It's the 3rd Corsica win in a row for the world champion and victory number 35 for Seb and co-driver Daniel Eleanor. So, confirmation of yet another tarmac victory for Loeb. That's 17 in his career, but possibly one of the most crucial. Sordo 3rd and a great 4th place for Latvala. And Loeb's 10 points for winning means he reduces 2nd place Gronholm's championship lead by another 2 points.
Sebastian, 10 points to 4 points in 2 rallies. You must be feeling very confident for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure, it's much better now. But also, what we know is that if Marcus wins one more, and after he finished 2nd, he won the championship. So it will be much more difficult for me than for him. I have to win all the rallies. So it's still possible. At the moment, I'm in control of my championship. I need no one to win it. But it looks that it will not be so easy.
What's your attitude about as far as the championship is concerned?
I don't know if I can win anything, but I will try. If I can win the next one, it would help a lot. Then we will see in Ireland then, and then beat it.
So Gronholm moves on to 104 points in the Drivers' Championship, but with 3 rallies to go, his lead over Loeb is down to just 4. Further down, Chris Atkinson moves up to 6th ahead of Henning Solberg. And in the manufacturer's title race, Citroen reduced the gap to Ford for the 2nd rally in a row, but it's only by 7 points. They still trail their rivals by 32. While the battle for this season's WRC Drivers' Crown continues, the Rally de France hosted the conclusion of the FIA Junior Rally Championship. PG Anderson and Mo Arbor arrived here on exactly the same points, so it was winner takes all coming into the event. Arbor was leading early on, but his dream was in ruins on the 2nd stage of day 2 when this mistake ended his rally and his hopes, leaving Anderson to become the first man to claim the title twice after his success in 2004. Success for Suzuki on the event where they made their debut in the Senior Championship. And that championship resumes in less than 2 weeks' time in Japan. It's going to be another big battle between Loeb and Gronholm, and you can find a preview of the event at WRC.com. Loeb won in Japan last year, but in Corsica 2007, he takes the third successive victory at the Rallye de France. And we'll leave you with a few memories of Corsica.